Welcome back. This weekend, we're going to try to get this front end finished once and for all. Stick around, we got lots to do, but first, I got more parts to cut. Okay, so we're down in the basement here, and I got parts to cut, and that's a gusset I need to make. So we're on manufacture. We go new setup, select the origin. We're good there. Cutting, 2D profile, select tool, library, plasma cutter, and I'm doing 3/16, so instead of having multiple profiles, I just got a list in my head of how fast I can cut everything. Select my geometry, and we're good there. Create the cut program, and we're going to say gusset WC for wildcard. What happened to W? WC. Gusset WC. Alright, we're good there. I created a code. Go back to Mach 3. Load the code. So gusset. Where's gusset? Gusset WC. There we go. Load it up. Materials in. Good here with my... Actually, it looks like I need to move in just a touch. From 0, re-zero my gun, and power. She's on, she's loaded, air's on, firing hole. First one, and get my position. Oops. There we go. And re-zero, we'll do the second cut. And yeah, I could make a left-right on this, but I'm not. And yes, I did my logo on these. Okie dokie. Those are the 2 gussets I currently need. Well, I'll take that back. There's 2 more I need to cut. I need 2 more for... Too far. Alright, 0 to 0. Anyways, I'm going to get these 2 pieces cut for the radiator crossbar, and we'll see you upstairs. Alright, well, I got my gussets cut up, cleaned up. We'll stick one of them. Let's see which one looks the best. They should be the same because they are. Go down here. On my welding card, all the other stuff I've got cut that needs welded on yet. Piece by piece. This gussets will go from here to here to reinforce the front support here. That'll tie in the mount, the frame, everything together in one big giant piece. Hopefully I got my angle right here. Yeah, I'm close enough. Off just a tick. Not bad for a loose guess. We're going to set it right here. First I need to turn my welder on. Got her turned up hot. Good there. Unfortunately, I can't see that way. I'm going to quick tack. A little more. Eyeball there. Look straight there. Looks pretty square coming off the tube, or at least close enough. Let's get her burned in. There. So that gussets in. Pretty much takes care of, let's see. Well. Yeah, I like my runner over there, but completely lost direction. So that's done, stitched in, good to go there. I think I'm done on this side except for fish plates, which are next. That's going to be a day-long adventure of just sticking those son of guns in. Got to get the rest of them cut. I only got part of them cut. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's move on to something different. All right, so it's about time to rearrange in here. Got to pull this fender off. Start cutting to get the bracing done over like I've done over here. Of course, this whole side needs completed. That's today's goal. And I have finished the front bumper / winch plate and everything else. That's what we've got. It's all braced up. Brace all the way in here. And this is 2 pieces 3/8 and a piece of 3/16, all sandwiched together and welded. One giant chunk. I think it should be strong enough. The piece on the inside is angled so to capture this bottom piece down here. So she's not going to pull through. And of course, this is completely welded to the frame rails. So it should be good there. Looks real good. As you can see where the front of the tire is roughly right here. So this is our only stick out. is this 3 to 4 inches. So she has a really good approach angle. Anyways, we're gonna get this fender pulled off and get this thing marked up and start cutting. Rejoin you then. All right, took a short break. Push the Jeep out so I get more room here. Nice thing about having a roller is I can get outside and do stuff, and it makes it much easier when I'm not squished. So anyways, did some work here. Got the plate for the control box made up and holes drilled to bolt it on. The box bolts in it, and then it keeps the top of the winch clean. I got my stuff marked off here. So this gets removed. We open this up, and then this piece comes out here, so I can put that 2-inch bar through here like I did over here. So I need to duplicate this, and that's up with next. So let me get you put on the stand. Let's get cutting. And that should take care of the cutting. Other than maybe some trimming we need to do. So now I need to make my piece, get the notch that fits in here. We'll do that next. Be right back. All right, had a friend stop by and visit with him for a bit. I got the reinforcement piece all notched and cut, bent. It's all fitted in where I need to be, where I like it to be. Got it clamped. Got the lower, need to do the upper shock mounts now. We're gonna get it put into place, get them tacked in, drop this piece out, weld those shock mounts back in, get this thing fitted in, and get it burned in. All right, shock. See where I want it. I should keep it in place. Shock out of here. burn it up. That clamp loose, this clamp loose. Just got it burned in. Find myself a table to work on here. That'll do. That'll do nicely. Get this side tacked on, and I gotta make this plate. Yeah, I think I'll let things cool off for a little bit and get a snack. Let's see. Everything's in my way. Bring the welder out further. There we go. That should take care of that. Whew. And this just stays clamped for the time being. I'll work this end to match that end. Anyways, short break, be right back. Yeah, welcome back. Sunday, took the evening off, had some fun with my oldest son. My daughter-in-law, she wanted he got a bow that would fit her, and we took it and had it adjusted for her, and we went out to hit the range, had a good time. Until the skeeters came out and chased me back to the car. But anyways, like I said, Sunday once again, we're continuing on with the Wildcard project. And what I've gotten done so far today is I got this plate put in, ties this into the body as well as this as a reinforcement. Gussets are in. I got all this plated up. Got this extended out. And I'm working on the crossbar. Excuse me here, I gotta dance over my cabling. Crossbar for the radiator. Now originally I had the radiator set in back here on this piece, but it's just been working out to be easier if I move it out. So I made some new mounts, brought it out just a little bit. And I'm working on here is getting, this actually needs to lean in just a touch. And then this will be a tab down here to capture this tab. And I'll have another one down here to capture this tab for the fan. And then I got to figure out something to do with getting a mount to the upper radiator. Shame these were cut, because I could have just used this outer one here and tapped it instead of the center one's the only one that's there left, or left, hasn't been cut. But anyways, that said, that's what we're doing. Let me put you on the stand here for a minute. And as I can see by the battery on my camera here, I need to go find my extra battery pack. So stick around, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got a battery pack charging the camera up here so I can continue recording. Watch, my mic will be next. Anyways, time to get the nose back on here because I got to get the brackets measured up because the header panel needs pushed out just a bit to clear the hood. So let's get the fender on, header on, get the hood down, see how far it actually needs to be pushed forward, get some measurements. I need to draw up a plate, zap it out on a CNC, and it'll actually weld to this bar here. So let's get the fender on. Now everything is getting changed out here to, I don't know why I'm shouting. Sorry about that, folks. To use basically 1/4-20 hardware. Everything right now is, other than a couple of bolts back here because they go into the original factory clips, which I'm going to try to change out, see if I can find some 1/4-20s. And that way, you can take this whole front end apart with a screwdriver. Simple. Everybody's got a screwdriver. So, fender. Back here. Put this one in. So that's in, and what I hope I did need my screw. Goes in here. Wait a minute. All right, whatever. Got a screw somewhere. Anyways, and it just push it in. Good and flush. I gotta remember to finish the nose of this fender here. I finished this one out. It's all welded up. A little bit of Bondo, fix that right up. Nose is over here. Whoops, wait a minute. I need to put my hardware together. So, again, so that's 1/4-20. Using a riv nut tool. Makes it really easy. Nose just drops in behind the control box. And this top piece is slotted, so I got a washer and nut. We're in there. Okay, there. Screwdriver. This fender screwed together. Now, as you can see, it's just simple. Easy peasy. As I've said before in these videos, I'm not a young man anymore. Not an old man either. But I am much closer to 60 than I am to 40. So, if I can make it simple to service, I am going that direction. Because nothing's more pain in the butt than having to dig out 10 different fasteners and a bunch of tools. Loosen these guys up a little bit. I got pushed too tight right now. There we go. Oh, I did it with my screw here. I don't see it. Ah, there it is. You've been keeping stuff in a tray over here. Apparently I didn't put one away. Let's see here. Where we go? Slide that out. That. Whack. Flush there. Tighten that up. Tight here. And there you go. That's how fast you can put the nose back on this. Even with just a simple screwdriver, you should be able to buzz this thing off in 5 minutes. And the nose, fenders, off. And that gives you full access to absolutely everything. But anyway, this nose, since I cut it, is pushed back. So it needs to come forward like this a little bit. Which is what we got to do with the hood here. And let's see. Nice thing is, I still got the clip. So the hood is overhanging 3/16 to 1/4 inch. And tape measure, that puts this bar here. Center hole. Center of that hole is roughly 2 3/4. So adding 1/4 inch would make 3 inches. So I need a 3-inch wide piece. And it needs to be from there to there, 17 inches long. I'm going to see if I can find a piece. I don't believe I have. Give me a second, folks. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I had a solution. Had a bit of a second here, and I figured out what I was going to do. Instead of making a big plate to stick through here, I just reused the bar for the safety latch, and it works perfect. So now I have the safety latch in place. This is all good and solid. And I may put some tabs out here and a tab out here and capture this one and this one, just to be secure. And I've also added these brackets in here to sit on top of the radiator. I'll add some foam underneath to keep it good and snug. And now I'm going to make tabs for here and here to capture the secondary fan. And for fun, we decided to, let's see, I did kick it, so I'm going to make sure it's still centered. So we're roughly centered on the rear axle here. So I see what the final wheelbase turned out to be. And we're figuring about 125 inches. Maybe 125 and a half. That's 2 foot of stretch. Wasn't sure exactly, I didn't really aim for 125 and a half, but that's where we landed. So that's a good bit of stretch. Who knew? I think it looks good though. This thing is looking really, really sharp. So look at that approach angle. Now I can step back from it. If I trip over Austin's air tank here. So we got really good and tight on the front end. And then look at the back end. So it's about as stretched as you can get. It may end up plus or minus another ½ inch, I would imagine, depending once, because I really haven't stringed it yet. So it may not be 125.5 in the final, and maybe 125, maybe 126. I don't know, somewhere in that nature. We'll get her squared up, centered from center, lengthwise, and then we'll get her front to back all squared together. She's coming along. Realized I still haven't gone downstairs and burned 2 more shock tabs. I'm going to do that here in a minute. And I'm going to get these tabs made up. That's what I'm doing right now. Going to have a good time. Got granddaughters over. We want some dinner with the kids. So that'll be fun tonight. We're going to get as much done here beforehand. I said, other than those 2 tabs, or I guess 4 tabs, 2 for the radiator fan and 2 for the shock. That'll finish that up. I think I'm going to get some cardboard, curl underneath this son of a gun, and then drop this front dry shaft out of here. And we'll start working on that too. I'd like to get that done. Need to figure out the original yoke on the Dana 60 uses straps. Prefer U-bolts. Now I know on XJs it's not uncommon because it was set up the same way. The people just re-drill the yoke for a U-bolt. Has anybody done that? Need to do some research there. Blue Jeep, when I rebuilt the 05 up axle, I just went ahead and bought a new yoke. That's $100 for a yoke just so I could run U-bolts. I'd like to see if I can just drill this thing out. Anyways, I guess I need to take some measurements, see what the center of the center is, and see if there's any matching U-bolts to go with it. We'll figure that one out here tonight and later on. Meanwhile, like I said, get some straps made up. I'll get those cut and rib nuts installed, and rejoin you then as we go to weld them on. Be right back. With that said, that's what we got for a front end here. Let's see what's next. I guess I gotta go downstairs and cut a couple of shock tabs, and I'll get those done, cut, cleaned up, and ready to weld on, and rejoin you guys then. All right, so Bobby came over and gave me a hand tonight, and we got some more of the interior skinned out. Got to finish this corner in here. This side's done up to the front, so got all that taken care of. I get some seam sealer, get those seams caulked up, and everything's a complete mess in here right now. The whole place is a disaster right now. But I think tomorrow night the weather's pretty cool. I'll push everything out again. Put the engine hoist in the back. Reorganize this so we can get this stuff finished. I still got the shock to do, the lower shock mount over there to do, and we got a lot of final welding, some small spots that need to go over. We got a lot done. The front's pretty well done now. This is what she's going to look like. I'm going to make some plates to go in here to mount a little LED light. Same thing over here. I really don't want to buy lenses. Plus, I don't have the depth here anymore with the radiator. But that's what it looks like. Can't even see anything in there. It's too dark. Need some hood pins. Keep the hood down. And I need brake lines or hoses. I picked them up this week so we can start working on getting the brakes done. Get the front dry shaft in. So that's what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is just fill in here. We'll cut that brace out and go out to the quarter and fill in. And then a bunch of stuff in the middle I haven't cut out yet. It's going to go disappear. And that's going to become a pocket. We'll do the same thing on the driver's side. This has got a place to stuff stuff. because you got to have room to put stuff. And my boy cut me a little short, but that's why we've got caulk. We shall caulk that up and seal it up, and I'll be into that. That was garage. Gosh, you can't see me out here. Let me have to go back out here in the light. Wow. Hi. That was garage. That's what we got done this weekend. Stick around. We got more to come. We got next weekend will be, wow, it's going to be Labor Day weekend next weekend. So we are quickly running about a month, I guess. 4 weeks, maybe 5 until the Beast Wars Challenge. We have our local show, which is what we're trying to get this done for, is 12th and 13th of September, Jeep Jam in Clarksville, Ohio. We'll have it there. Whether it's running or not, we'll bring it along. But anyways, that was Garage. We're out of here for this week. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.